Hey, welcome to this Windows channel, and this is a Tech News Update. We are Wednesday, March 29th, 2017, and today in our Tech News Update, we have the Tinder app Tinder, which is kind of a social system, a social app that has, of course, also a side to it that you can actually maybe find love online, basically. Well, lately, Tinder scammers posing as flight attendants are tricking men into sending money. Now, this started in Hong Kong, but apparently it's really expanding, and cities like Singapore, also in Asia, are really getting hit by this, which means it's probably gonna kind of appear pretty much everywhere. You know, it's always the same thing when you have an app, when you have a system or a service where you can meet people. You really got to be careful because between a good looking guy or girl and the reality, there's two major differences. So, always be careful. We always have that story of this guy that got scammed out of money or that's waiting at the airport for hours and nobody's arriving. Uh, you know, just be on your guards. Well, it's official. Creators Update is going to be on April 11th. We have the official date. It's been released today by Microsoft. We also have pretty much confirmation now that 15063 is the Creators Update for the insiders, as the updates that seem to be sending out are incremental, and we've seen it with mobile that received a cumulative update basically that brought that fixed a few things, and that brought the version to 15063.2. So that means we're going to pretty much have the same thing going on with our 15063 for insiders. So look for a cumulative update eventually that will fix what is left of problems in that Creators Update. So April 11th, it's going to start rolling out. And of course, I'll be posting a separate video talking about this and how it's going to happen. So hope that you enjoy our videos, and Creators Updates coming. Cyber ransomware is, or Cerber ransomware, sorry, is probably what is the most popular type of ransomware right now. And of course, it infects your computer and encrypts your data. And of course, you need to go and pay the bad guys if you don't have a backup. Well, it seems that they've actually updated the Cerber ransomware to be a little more intelligent. Now it can detect if you're in a virtual machine and it will not run. So that means that if you are in a VMware of some sort, a virtual machine of some sort, well, you might actually be safer. You're already safer because you're in a virtual machine, but already this is going to make you even more safer because the ransomware will just detect it and say, well, not worth running here. Well, we have an interesting story coming out from there's regulators that say, okay, there's a problem with Qualcomm and Samsung, and here's the thing. A lot of people, and one of the questions you might ask yourself is, why do the Samsung Exynos chips, which are very powerful ARM chips, not appear on other devices than Samsung's own devices? Well, it seems that Samsung would be happy to sell them to other companies, but Qualcomm has been working hard to prevent Samsung from actually competing in the mobile CPU market. And regulators say that Qualcomm needs to be punished, as they have really pushed Samsung to really not do anything about it by telling them, well, if you need our chips, we won't actually sell them to you if you do that. So that's kind of a very interesting little problem here. So now regulators are looking into this, and Qualcomm will probably have some fines. Well, Creators Update's already here for Xbox. It seems Microsoft decided to roll out the Creators Update for Xbox users in waves starting right now. So it's a kind of a surprising move because it's a fast move. It is before the official Creators Update for PCs, and we didn't think it would arrive so fast. So kind of a very interesting move here on the side of Microsoft. So if you have an Xbox One, check it out. You should eventually receive your Creators Update for Xbox that brings all sorts of new features, including the new Beam feature for streaming your gameplay and all sorts of new little things. So check it out. I think this for Xbox, it's a really worthwhile upgrade, basically. Well, do games help people recover from trauma and from all sorts of accidents and problems? Well, it seems that a doctor explained to the BBC that after doing a few trials, they've noticed that Tetris, in particular, is amazing for people that have trauma because it helps patients recover their visual memory. They say the fact that there are colorful bars and objects of all shapes, and the fact that you have to, think about it to really place them correctly in order to, of course, destroy the little lines to make sure that you don't pile up, are perfect to help trauma patients. And this is not the first study going on. There's a lot of studies going on saying, hey, games are fantastic in helping people recover of all sorts of problems, disease, and trauma. And I think also, it's a fun way of making people feel better. Well, it seems that companies, according to analysts, companies are not taking the camera security seriously. We know that a lot of Internet of Things devices, and including cameras, have flaws in them, and that companies should patch them because it gives access to these cameras to bad guys. And one example of that is Google's own cameras that lately they found there was a flaw, and Google refuses to patch the cameras. Thing is, apparently it's a straightforward patch, and it's so easy to hack into these cameras that even just a typical tech enthusiast, if he starts looking at it, can easily hack into these cameras and pretty much see what you're doing if you use one of these cameras. So this is a major problem, and Internet of Things devices need to be more secure, and there needs to be added security on these devices. And finally, China investing $22 billion into its chips and electronics factories to actually make their own chips, their own CPUs. They want to try to rely less on CPUs and chips from other manufacturers around the world. And analysts say this will actually have China easily surpass US technology in the next few years. Already we are seeing that China, its supercomputers and everything, is really being a major player here in electronics and the power of computing. And I think this is just, the beginning. We're going to see major advances here with China investing so much money in the electronics field. So this was the Tech News Update for Wednesday, March 29th, 2017. If you enjoy our videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, let us know. And hope that you enjoy our videos and that you will continue following us. And thank you so much. If you have any comments, it's always fun to have your feedback.